Did you know that Demi Moore, once the highest paid actress in Hollywood and a symbol of strength and beauty, now carries a story filled with unimaginable heartbreak? At 62 years old, her life has been a turbulent mix of dazzling highs and devastating lows. From troubled beginnings and groundbreaking success to painful relationships, addiction, and family struggles, Demi's journey has been anything but simple. The world saw her as untouchable, yet behind the camera, she endured battles that nearly broke her. In this video, we're diving into the real life of Demi Moore, the woman behind the fame, the headlines, and the Hollywood roles. Her story is not just about stardom, but about surviving trauma, facing rejection, and coming to terms with aging in an industry that worships youth. By the end, you'll see why the tragedy of Demi Moore at 62 is more than just a Hollywood tale. It's a deeply human one, marked by pain, courage, and an unrelenting fight for peace. Demi Jean Gwines, born on November 11, 1962, in Roswell, New Mexico, never had the fairy tale childhood people imagined a star might have. Her father left before she was even born, and her stepfather struggled with substance abuse, creating a volatile home environment. By her teenage years, Demi was already exposed to instability, alcoholism, and abuse, painful experiences that shaped her sense of self and left deep emotional scars. By 16, she dropped out of high school and pursued modeling before moving into acting. Hollywood was her escape, her lifeline to a better future. Yet, even as success began knocking on her door, Demi carried with her the wounds of a broken childhood. Those wounds would resurface again and again, no matter how brightly her star shone. Demi's early career began with small roles, but it was her breakout in St. Elmo's Fire, 1985, that cemented her as part of the Brat Pack. Audiences were drawn to her sultry beauty, magnetic presence, and undeniable charisma. Soon, she was a household name, starring in hit after hit, from About Last Night to Ghost, which became one of the most iconic romantic films of all time. But behind the glamour, Demi struggled with personal demons. Even as Hollywood embraced her, she battled substance abuse, relying on drugs and alcohol to numb the pain of her past. Friends and colleagues noticed her fragility, and while her star rose, her health and personal life wavered on unstable ground. The public saw a rising star, but Demi was already fighting battles no camera could capture. In 1987, Demi married actor Bruce Willis, and for a time, it seemed like she had found happiness. Together, they had 3 daughters, Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah, and their marriage was seen as one of Hollywood's strongest. They were the picture-perfect family, appearing on red carpets and magazine covers. Yet behind closed doors, the pressures of fame and their own personal struggles strained the relationship. By 2000, their marriage ended in divorce, though they remained friends and co-parents. The heartbreak of losing what seemed like a fairy tale love left Demi shaken. Still, she kept pushing forward, leaning on her career and her role as a mother. But life had more turbulence ahead, and what seemed like a second chance at love would soon lead her down a far darker path. In 2003, Demi shocked the world when she began dating Ashton Kutcher, who was 15 years younger. Their relationship drew headlines everywhere. Some called it inspiring, while others ridiculed her for daring to love a younger man. In 2005, they married, and for a time, Demi appeared rejuvenated and happier than ever. She credited Ashton with bringing joy back into her life. But beneath the surface, their relationship was far from perfect. Demi later revealed that she compromised parts of herself to please him, even crossing boundaries she wasn't comfortable with. By 2011, their marriage collapsed amid allegations of infidelity. The divorce shattered Demi, leaving her feeling rejected, unworthy, and spiraling back into destructive behaviors. What looked like a Hollywood love story had become another chapter of heartbreak. Demi was once the highest-paid actress in Hollywood, famously earning $12.5 million for striptease. But by the late 1990s and early 2000s, her career began to wane. Roles became scarce, and she struggled with the industry's obsession with youth. For a woman who had once broken barriers, it was a cruel reminder of how quickly Hollywood can turn its back. This professional decline coincided with her personal struggles, compounding her pain. Demi admitted she felt invisible, cast aside, and no longer relevant. For someone who had defined strength and beauty for a generation, the loss of career momentum was devastating. It wasn't just a decline in work, it was a blow to her identity, self-worth, and sense of belonging. As her marriage with Ashton unraveled, Demi's health took a serious hit. She struggled with substance abuse, relying on drugs and alcohol to cope with the pain of rejection and aging. In 2012, she was hospitalized after a seizure, and the details of her breakdown shocked the public. Suddenly, the glamorous star was exposed in the most vulnerable way possible, battling for her life and her sanity. Her daughters distanced themselves during this time, unable to watch their mother's self-destruction. Demi's relationships fractured, and she admitted later that her addiction nearly cost her everything. For years, she fought to rebuild her health and trust with her family. The tragedy of her struggles lay not just in the headlines but in the quiet, lonely moments of a woman who once had it all and was now clawing her way back from the edge. Perhaps the most heartbreaking part of Demi's story has been her fractured relationship with her daughters. During her darkest years of addiction, Rumor, Scout, and Tallulah stepped away from her, struggling to reconcile the mother they loved with the woman who was spiraling out of control. For Demi, this estrangement was unbearable. Her greatest role as a mother seemed to be slipping away. It took years of work, honesty, and healing for them to slowly mend those wounds. Today, their bond is stronger, but the scars remain. Demi has been candid about the guilt she carries, admitting that her choices hurt the people she loved most. At 62, the pain of knowing how much time was lost with her children lingers as one of the greatest tragedies of her life. In 2019, Demi released her memoir Inside Out, finally pulling back the curtain on the pain she endured. The book shocked readers with raw confessions about childhood abuse, addiction, broken marriages, and her insecurities about aging. Yet, it also revealed a woman determined to confront her demons, no matter how ugly the truth. The memoir became a bestseller, and for the first time in years, Demi was celebrated for her honesty rather than her looks. By sharing her darkest moments, she inspired others to speak about their struggles and seek help. But even as her courage was applauded, the vulnerability also highlighted just how much tragedy she had endured to reach this point of self-reflection. Now at 62, Demi faces the challenge of aging in an industry that often sidelines women over 40. Once hailed as a sex symbol and action star, she now grapples with invisibility in Hollywood's unforgiving spotlight. While she has embraced new projects and appearances, she has admitted that the pressure to look young and relevant is still heavy. The irony of Demi's life is that she once shattered barriers for women in Hollywood, yet now she struggles against the very system she helped challenge. The tragedy lies not only in her personal struggles but in how an industry that once celebrated her now struggles to make space for her. It's a battle that speaks not only to her journey but to countless women who face the same erasure as they age. And now, at 62, the tragedy of Demi Moore is beyond heartbreaking. She has survived abuse, addiction, broken marriages, career rejection, and family estrangement, yet somehow, she continues to stand. Behind the glamour and fame lies a woman who has endured more than most could imagine. Her story is a reminder that even the brightest stars are not immune to the darkest struggles. Yet within her tragedy is also resilience. Demi has embraced honesty, reconciliation, and acceptance as her greatest tools. She may no longer be the Hollywood powerhouse she once was, but her legacy is now defined by her courage to share her pain and continue living authentically. At 62, Demi Moore's story is heartbreaking, yes, but it is also a testament to survival, strength, and the human spirit.